Hello. Very good morning to you all. My name is Adi Chris from the SRTV desk in London. Actually, ARTV desk, ART desk in London. You see, I am still struggling because as we slowly transiting from SRTV to ART, we are rebranding. We remain SRTV, but we are adding our television to be African Renaissance Television, and that is ART. So sometimes you hear SRTV, sometimes you hear ART. We are just and the same. Well, on this is the Rise and Shine show, where we inspire Nigerians to wake up to the challenges of we are facing as a people. Uh, Nigeria is a very blessed nation. We have all it takes to be the giant of Africa, to be the giant of the black world, because we are the biggest black nation on earth. I always warn and I always advise that Nigeria must and need to rise to the challenges of the big brother in Africa. It is very, very important because the black race is looking on to Nigeria to do the needful. And I hope that at a point in time, those of us in power will rise to the challenge, we wake up to realize that, hey, this is no time to joke. It is important that we all get up and do the right thing. And that is what we're going to do. Uh, we have President Tinubu currently in power, is doing the needful, uh, whether we like it or not. But today, I really want to see that Nigeria is slowly becoming a one-party state. And we want to know whether that is even good. And that's why I bring up this topic today. And I said the role of opposition in a society. Now, Nigeria need opposition. Nigeria will prosper with opposition. Opposition is a natural thing it is an integral part of the Nigerian state. And when a society like Nigeria begin to degenerate into a one-party state, we need to ask ourselves some questions. Most of the action of this government, yes, they may be constitutional. Sometimes we ask, where is the equity in law? So if you're going to quote the constitution on blank on, hey, there will be another aspect of the constitution that will contradict it, mister. So I'm happy that Obasanjo in his presentation, his advice to the young man who was at what to become, he said you need 4 constitutional lawyers on your payroll. You need to have them telling you can't do this, you can do this, you can't do this, you can do this. Now, to put a proper justice to the topic of today, I want to let Nigerians know that there's always two sides to a story. Two sides. And Nigeria is unique. We have the two divides in Nigeria. Sometimes we talk of the north and the south. That's the thing we hear most. It's true. Two sides. There may be more, as you will know, Nigeria is not only just two sides. Even in the south, we have the east, the west, and the south. And in the north, we have the north, south, northeast. But when we talk of the division in Nigeria, it's the north and the south. Another notable thing we have in Nigeria is the Muslims and the Christians. Very divided. Population is almost even. The north and the south population is almost even. You will not become the president of Nigeria if you don't win the other side. And the same way, I don't think anybody will just say Christian will win Nigeria or a Muslim will win without the support of the other. That means that anybody in government needs to carry everybody along. And in a society like Nigeria, we need to carry each other along. How do we achieve that? Before I bring this matter home to Nigeria today, because my concern is, are we still practicing the democracy? Because democracy perhaps recognizes the role of opposition. Because we are not going to agree on the same thing. You know, when I was defining democracy, I said democracy is the rule of the majority. But if care is not taken, it becomes an oppression on the minority. Let me repeat that. Yes, when you go into an election, you could win with a vote. You become the president because you won with one vote. A lot of people didn't vote for you. Now, for us to live in a society that will carry that means that we are all still part of the same Nigeria or same part of the United Kingdom. We need to carry each other along. That's where the respect is. When you come to the UK, when we have the House of Commons, I want to put this one. It's a symbol of what opposition means. You have the sitting on both sides. The government will be on one side. The most opposition will be on the other side. And the speaker knows how to say, when the prime minister asks a question, they throw the question, and that it's always a debate. Hey, hey, you see them making all kind of funny noise as if they're kids in primary school. But that is democracy at play. They oppose one another. And another thing that is good about the UK government that I must say is when they do that, you will see a situation where the opposition, they have the party that wins will form the government. Then the opposition will form a shadow government. I want to use this word, a shadow government that will checkmate or check anything this government is doing. In fact, they will run their policy along with it. And anything the government is doing, they will copy the opposition. Because they are coming to debate it in the House of Commons. Now, in America, it's clear too. We have the two big political parties, the Republican and the Democrat. You will see now that now the Republican has come to power. Trust me. There was a massive protest yesterday, and I'm sure it's still going on in America, across the United States. Now, who are the people protesting? It's a Democrat. They are opposing. They are opposing anything Donald Trump will try to do, especially if it is undemocratic. What do you learn from this? If a society, as in fact, they are actually, we can call it Britain a one religion state, which is just Christians. America is a Christian state. Yeah, they have this opposition because not everybody will believe in the same thing. Even within the same Christian religion, we have the evangelists telling you the Catholic cannot even practice, they worship Mary and all that. You know the truth. And I'm saying this here because Nigerians, you are so divided as well. So how do we carry everybody along? Now, my question today is, how do we have a credible opposition in Nigeria? So that is going to be the topic of today. We now know, my submission is, you cannot argue with me that we need to recognize that we cannot all agree on one thing. And some people don't agree that there should be gay in society. Some people think it's their right to do so. All right. The Constitution sometimes helps, but the Constitution does not recognize certain issues. Okay. Constitution tells us we can practice religion, freedom of religion. But my religion will not agree with your own. We have freedom of religion. How do you still carry all of us that are allowed to practice different religion within the same Constitution? So there are answers Constitution cannot deal with. We humans carry it along. Well, government of the day or the two big parties try to forge a government or form a society that moves, that progress smoothly. And that is what is currently lacking in Nigeria. But it looks today that the PDP governors have taken up, because I've been waiting. Are the PDP, as the PDP as a political party going to take this government to court? Is there no way of opposing what Tinubu has done? Not everybody, Sir Tinubu, not everybody agree with this harsh, I call it a very harsh one. What your state of emergency on Rivers State, even if they did it in the past, maybe they are still barbaric, but now, because they did it in the past, must you do it? I don't understand. And I've been waiting. Do we have opposition in Nigeria? That's been something that has been striking my mind. Thank God PDP governors have come up. They are going to take the case legally. What are the chances? Let us explore that on this show today. For me, I want to spend less time doing that. As you know, Asaba and Abuja, they are ready, and we're going to try and add them quickly so that we can deal with the issue of today. Let's start. Hey, they are ready. Let me wasting too much time. Let it be me now. Let's bring them in. Hey, Mary, how you doing? Can you hear me? All right.
Yeah, good morning, Daddy Chris.
Morning. Network. Well, Asaba will. Asaba is always playing this drama. Man. I don't know whether they have the same. there's MTN in Nigeria. I don't know which network you're using. Asaba must change their network today, and I mean today. I won't take this from them tomorrow. We need to get that clear now, because you cannot have the same excuse again and again. It becomes a pattern. Asaba is always coming, and within the show, you guys will go off and come back. The network you are using need to change. Sorry. Anyway, good morning. I have the two gentlemen again from Asaba. When I have them, I'm
Good
stable.
morning, sir.
Good morning to
I'm
you.
happy to have you guys. What we need to do is, once we change the network, we're going to have a more smooth platform, and then we need to address that immediately. But very good morning to you, Mbaka, and my engineer. How are you doing today?
We're
We're
very
doing
fine.
okay.
Engineer Mishak, please.
Okay,
As a
Mishak.
Shepherd,
Sometimes
Mishak
that
and
the places
Abednego.
take the lead. Yes, Engineer Mishak. I will try and follow seriously now. Mbaka, it took me time. I'm only calling communicator now. I remember Mr. Baka. So now I will remember.
Yeah.
Forgive me for that. All right. Well, today I have just dropped a little submission on the platform, arguing or perhaps asking, do we have credible opposition in Nigeria? If not, is that not a threat to our society? Because we are not the same. One, Nigeria is a very plural state. We all speak different languages. Even if we forget about religion, we have the tribal sentiment that come in an issue. Anything we do, oh, it's from here, it's not from here, and it actually affects our religion. And like I defined democracy from the beginning, if care is not taken, the more people say it's the rule of the majority, it is also an oppression of the minority. I want us to pick that word carefully. Yes, democracy is the rule of the majority. What is it? Is it not an oppression of the minority? That is the question we're going to answer today. So, and that is why we're here. Of course, I am solidly, I'm happy Asaba is here. So I'm going to leave this issue in the hands of these two able gentlemen. Let them help us to look, bring this matter into the Nigerian state and see whether Nigeria could be a good example to the rest of the world. Sometimes you guys confuse me when you tell me, is that how it's done in over there? Must it be so? Why don't we be the big brother that shows the good example? Must we always look at what is happening? Why can't we see what is right and be able to set the pace for the rest of the world? Like I said, the Nigerian music boys have set the pace, Nollywood has set the pace, politics should set the pace. But let's leave this matter. In Nigeria is to be the country. Let me put it this way. Why this topic is very, very important. Nigeria is a country where Muslims and Christians are living side by side. We have done well, because anywhere you see the two religions, there's always war. I've seen it in Yugoslavia, it's killing. They don't live, they cannot coexist. They don't coexist. But Nigeria have done well. Is that a sign of our being able to accommodate one another? Or maybe perhaps that is still the problem why Nigeria is still where we are. I'll leave that to us. As you know.
Okay, thank you so very much for that very incisive, far-reaching intro. Nigeria naturally is a very pluralistic society, a cultural heterogeneity. There are a whole number, and religiously, you have also talked about the diversity and all that. So the geopolitical setting of Nigeria is such that one begin to ask, what is the mode of government that is most ideal for Nigeria? And I tell you, the consensus of the opinion, locally and internationally, we point towards that democracy should be the best government that is suited for the Nigerian setting. And critical to democracy is opposition. Opposition. Why? Because opposition gives choice for the electorates. Because critical to democracy is that there is a periodic renewal of mandate. The people And for you to have that sacred mandate of the people, election, periodic election, renewal of mandate becomes important. Critical to democracy is that choices are presented to the people. Again, we have tried to say that democracy is a universal concept. But how it is working in nations now depends on the local coloration. Permit me to say the local content or the local derivative. Just like you will understand that it's not particularly the kind of English that is being spoken by the fellow in the street of London, that is the kind of English we are speaking somewhere in Lagos or Warri. It has had its own local coloration or democracy. As it currently operates, is that there is a very deliberate, very conscious, very systemic effort to ensure that opposition is not just weakened, but opposition is wiped out. And when you have a democracy that lacks opposition, then of course what it reminds us is that the truth in the aphorism that power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And because we are working on a democracy, we do not intend to benefit the people in its totality, but to benefit a segment of they are called the stakeholders, the powerful people. Then what happens is that we are in a political party, and that political party comes to power. The focus and the emphasis is not on how do I deliver what is called democratic dividend. How do I improve on the life of the people? How can my performance index go up in such a way that when I go back to the people, the renewal of my mandate will be a walkover? That should be seen as when democracy is functioning and impacting on the people. But what we have in this climb, and which is the reason why a number of people are feeling that Nigeria's democracy is getting endangered, is that a party comes into power and so that there is no formidable opposition. And when there is no formidable opposition, it is as dangerous as a one-party state. And when you have a one-party state, then of course the people are left with no choices. What happens is an affirmation. What happens is that even the parties that are existing, you don't have internal democracy. And as such, you have situations where the ESCO, the National Executive Council of the parties, or even at the state level, are predicted ahead of time. We once had a situation in one of the states where a party convention has not been held, and there was a newspaper that published the list of the people who emerged from that convention. And of course, 2 months ahead of time. And they wanted to sack everybody who was involved, and eventually, but 2 months after that convention held, and it was the same people
that came out.
What happened was that a list was ready 2 months ahead, and it leaked to the newspaper, and the newspaper innocuously went to town with it. And they were telling the people there, how could you have done this? There is no convention yet to affirm what had already been decided. And the critical question is that position democratic? Who is the leader of the party? The party as part of the accountability process, but that is in the principle. On ground, what do we have? once the governor is sworn in and chairman, he determines who and who constitute the party ESCO. That on its own is not democratic. Who are the members, the card carrying members? What are their levies contributed? So how are they funded? The funding mechanism of the party is very, very is dysfunctional. It's not working, and because it's founded in error, then you now see that it has a tendency to be hijacked. And because it has a tendency to be hijacked, we are living in a climate where a state governor whose allocation was large and internally generated revenue was large because it's an oil producing state, was able to amass such a wealth that he extended patronage to other states and was able to control that state as structure and network. And today, you can't expel him from that party. Even when you know that technically speaking, and with the on ground, he is no longer a team. The party had to use him as a mole, and that was how you have the 5 governors who were used as a mole to destroy the opposition for them to come in. And for as long as we continue operating our democracy in that manner, not a party coming in and focused on how can I improve on the lives of the people? How can the impact of the government be felt? But once the focus is on how can we destroy the opposition, then the foundation is faulty. That is no longer democracy, because democracy fundamentally should provide choices for the people. Because if I am looking at the example you gave about America, yes, the Democrats have just given way for the Republicans. For the next couple of years, the American citizens should be watching the performance of the Republicans in order to know, can we renew their mandate with what is happening now, or do we go back to the Democrats? As it stands now, we have no choice, and so that cannot be credibly called democracy.
I know engineer want to comment on this because bring this. The Kubaka has just treated this matter. It's a treatment, it's a wound that needs to be treated carefully. He has treated it very well, because you look at Nigeria as it is. Opposition is embedded in us, it's part of us. Nigeria is divided, and maybe we call it diversity. And if there is no democracy, which is the true democracy, as he has rightly mentioned, how can a society like that survive? Meaning some people will be completely left out. We are oppressing a very huge majority of the people. Because we see Tinubu has come out and said, listen, some of the policy of government, you might not agree. How do we actually come out to say we don't agree with you? Could it be the political parties themselves don't have an ideology, because it's like there's no bond holding them together? If not, it's very clear if you get a Democrat or the Labour Party in government, as we have in the UK, we know what we're going to get. They're going to be a little bit of higher taxes, but then it's going to be more community government. What I said is they will try and tax the rich more and try to provide more social amenities. In America today, if the Democrat had a chance, they would have introduced the healthcare system. And you're not going to get it. We know that under economic policy, that is what Trump is trying to do. Trump will try to tax less. So the rich are more happier sometimes with the Republican. And it's still the same with the Tory here. They are very happy because there will be less tax on the rich, because the Democrat will tax you more. So you know what you're going to get. And we know that the Republican, you see, anybody that has been trying America before, during our former president, Joe Biden, he won't try them now because Donald Trump will be very quick to go to war. They are not patient. They will explode. Here in the UK, I don't know how they managed to do it. The story, if you tell Ronald Reagan, let's go to war tomorrow, to Reagan say, let's go today. You understand? They are that. We know they are more. They take more action. So you know what you're going to get. But in Nigeria, sometimes I really don't know the difference between the APP and the PDP. So the fundamental of that democracy, the ideological differences are not clear to me. Sometimes I don't know which party to follow. I don't know whether you can, whether engineers see what I'm trying to say. Do we have it? Is it clear? Do they even have their personal? Oh, let's forget about the internal democracy. Do they even have what they believe in that brings them together? That this is PDP. This is what we expect when I am PDP, and all because sometimes all of them are saying the same thing. So it is personal.
No, the dilemma is not the dilemma you are going through is not a personal dilemma.
Okay.
So do not think there is anything wrong with your judgment. It is the dilemma of the average Nigerian, especially those who are enlightened enough and have seen how it worked. When we had the Second Republic and we had the UPN as led by Awolowo, and we had the NPN as led by the Shehu Shagari and others, you could distinctively say that UPN, if they come to power in a state, will provide you free qualitative education. So they were known for that. And NPN will tell you that there was no free and qualitative education was not feasible, but that they will give you a qualitative education, but you will pay something for it. So it was very clear. There was an ideological distinction between the UPN and NPN. So it was not possible for you to sleep as that decrease an ESCO of UPN this night and wake up the next morning as a member of the NPN. It wasn't possible.
Exactly.
No. It just wasn't possible for that overnight carpet crossing. But today, there is nothing. Akwa Ibom, he was being hunted with the EFCC, but the moment he
crossed the carpet,
I mean, he became. That was the journey towards
to freedom. Now he got baptized.
Come to think of it.
He got baptized.
Republic, you will, because the opposition was clearly spelled out and was a powerful opposition. You could see the ruling party NPN then would buy Daily Times. Daily Times was pro-establishment. It was pro-federal government. But inside Daily Times, in Tribune, you had the views. In reading Tribune, you will have a mindset of what, because the fear of the opposition, as it were, and the fear of Awolowo then was the beginning of wisdom. But today, in our democracy, Tinubu is a symbol of the federal government. Tinubu is a symbol of the ruling party, APC. I challenge anybody to show me and point out that this is the symbol of opposition. All we hear is that the opposition parties appear to have been so crippled, but they do not want to give up. So what are they trying to do? They are coming together to talk, form a movement. And some of them are already moving. The Aerofire are already moving to SDP. And already APC is sending, and let the home not be such that they can reason together. And the same thing has happened in the Labour Party. And the judiciary is weak, is so weak that it cannot balance up the thing. That is the danger. And it's a very potent danger. How can you have a credible election in 2027? Mishak, I'm asking.
Good.
Thank you very much. Interestingly,
How can the
I
election be
want to
credible
start.
under this setting?
I want to start with you from London. You made a statement, but I want to correct that statement, and so that our listeners can be so informed. You said that uh, the election of the majority, the majority elects the politicians to come and oppress the minority. It is the majority that is being oppressed. Majority is being oppressed, not the minority. And the trajectory of what is
Okay.
happening is like this: we
Okay.
vote,
Okay.
but our votes don't count
Yes. I
of
hear
the
you.
political elite.
Yes.
They control the institutions that manage the elections. I'm talking of the INEC, the security agencies, importantly. Now, when we cast our votes with an
Now we have many. Now they're going to go. What is going on? We need to work on Asaba network. In fact, they will come. They will not come to this place. If Asaba, if those people over there can just change the network to somebody's own phone, I think we can use
My
everyone's phone at
network
this
here,
place.
my network here is bad also. It's bad as well.
Uh,
Maybe it rained yesterday night, but I don't know for Asaba though.
is it
But
raining?
sir,
Okay, we have you back, sir.
I said
are
it's
we
rained yesterday night. I don't know if that's what affected Abuja.
together?
Yes, sir. We are with you now. Go on.
Very much. Like I was saying, until this institution that truly separated from the influence of the executive, when I'm talking about INEC, I'm talking about the judiciary, I'm talking about the security agencies, are truly separated from the influence of. We're faced with a very, very unfamiliar kind of democracy. You are in the UK, we have conservatives and we have the Labour Party,
Yes.
two extreme parties. How often Democrats, if in 3 generations, we've seen the Reagan family being Republicans, Syria. What we practice is a Nigeria modified version of American democracy. We had to modify it because our democracy is enshrined along corruption and corrupt ethics. It's only in Nigeria that you see this kind of democracy. Now, what has happened to the opposition? Because we cannot have an opposition because the political parties do not practice any form of internal democracy within the political. There are no checks and balances within the political parties. There are no punitive measures within the political parties. And our politicians have so structured the political system.
It's a very difficult day because the network is really not helping the matter.
Like my
But we
brother
need,
Obaka said, when
yes. Go on, sir.
They are talking, it's just the network, but they don't know that
Yeah.
very their voice.
And Mary, we need to change the network because I can hear you. It's never the same like Asaba. So, and I'm sure it's what it's the network they are using. It cannot be all bad like this all the time. So we need to change that network, and the time is now. I won't take that network in here tomorrow. I pay every month such a huge amount of money, and we're getting no result. Anyway, Mary, before we get Asaba back, the question is, what can you tell as a young person? What is the difference between the APC and the ADP as you understand it?
Anyway, to my understanding, I would say no difference. So people will not say I have a particular party I'm supporting. No difference. Because even when we had we're still having this challenge, right? So this is just them with their selfish interest. They have same goal, and that goal is what selfishness. They have same. They really do not care about the people. Now, when we have APC ruling, PDP want to serve as the opposition. They want to make corrections. They want to see the faults of the APC. And tomorrow when it's PDP, the APC wants to start telling the faults of the PDP. Not like there's a particular one that is better. You understand? There's a particular one that have the interest of the people at heart. It's the same thing that decrease. All these parties are the same. We just need someone who is different that can make a difference. Not the party. It's not about the party. It's about individual. Who is that individual that can stand and make a difference as a leader in Nigeria? But we're talking about the party, whether Labour Party, whether PDP, whether APC. I can't really tell you that this one is one that stand out as a party that will do the right thing that they're supposed to do, right? As a party in the country. So if you ask me, I would say there's no difference that exists between these parties.
It's a dangerous one because exactly what I was trying to get from maybe is the differences in the ideology, and it seems not to be there. And I'm talking from a very, it's a deep-rooted conversation.
No ideology. If you ask
No
me,
ideology.
they want to contest for the next election, but they don't
Yes.
even have plans of what to do when they get
And
there.
even what the party actually stands for, let
Yes.
them finish. The
They don't
thing is,
have plans.
when I know if Labour win, I know what to expect. If the Tory win in UK, I know what to expect. We know, and they will rule according to their manifestos or to their ideology first. Then the individual will come with one or two better manifestos. This is it. But you know what the party stands
That
for.
was if you
You
say
don't know
Labour.
what Nigerian party stands for.
If you say Labour of before, I looked at Peter Obi. I'm sorry to say, I feel like I see someone acting so weak beyond my expectations. This is when Peter Obi needs to stand out. You understand? And I'm not seeing him doing anything. I don't know for you. You get my point.
No,
Okay, now
the-
what
see,
Peter Obi would have done.
even before we even hold Peter, what do you know what Labour Party stands for? You see, perhaps they are not even educating us enough. Labour will say, "Oh, we are the government of the people. We are this and that." Like Pastor just said, you disorganize the. I mean, you weaken the Labour Party, the Labour movement, the organized Labour, because it's from organized Labour that we have the Labour Party. Maybe it would have been so good to understand that we can understand what Labour would have stand for. To work, it should have been the party of the workers. Maybe the Labour Party here was formed from the coming together of workers over the years. They came together and they formed a party called the Labour Party in the UK, and that is what we see in Nigeria. You know, we know how to copycat, and which is okay. Let's quickly add back and all of them back because we're enjoying your submissions, sir. You let me jump back to you quickly. You were telling us because one big word you used there, and it's Nigerians may take it as a joke, but it's not. He said that actually what we have in Nigeria is oppression of the majority. Not because if you have two parties that are actually sticking to the ideology, I am still saying that even in that system, the minority might still be oppressed if care is not taken. Now in Nigeria, is it completely other way around? The very few who have the power, have the money, they will steal the power. In fact, they will buy the power. So the majority of Nigerians
Buy the power. That's the right word.
Nigeria has presented to us today, and it is dangerous. And he's still telling us more about it. So I want him to finish because this is important for us to have a democracy at all. These are the fundamentals. Is a system where you don't know what the political party stands for, then what is uniting them as a people? So I can join APC not because APC stand for anything. Why am I in APC? If you ask these people now, the other Nigerians, why do you belong to that party? They don't know. It's either his senior brother or in tribe people said, "Make we join this," or the man is. They don't understand why they are there. And that is meaning the fundamentals of this so-called democracy we are practicing is not even there. On which foundation does the party? What does the party stand for? No. If I can tell you, if we go on the street of Nigeria, and I want people to do that passport for me, David, so that we have that like tomorrow. Ask what do they understand with the APC and the PDP ideologically? It will be interesting. I really want to have that. Anyway, I'll leave that to engineer. You know you're back. Let's have you, please.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yes, interestingly, we're looking at a situation that is cancerous facing in a kind of democracy. Now, when you look at the opposition right now, they have been so weakened to a level where they have become voiceless. They have become political. They are they are showing more political patronage to the ruling party in order to massage their egos. Now, how do they do this? It's unfortunate. The ruling party, our political class, they have a mindset. They look at themselves as oligarchs. They are like mafia lords. And if you must survive away from political intimidation, security intimidation, financial crime intimidation, then you must join them. No matter the sins you are committed, your sins will be forgiven. That is not
You're
what we
baptized.
expect from
Yaya Bello is a free man.
that are expected.
Yaya Bello is a free man.
He's a free
How
man.
did he got himself free?
Not just Yaya Bello, even as Senate president. Even as Senate president, Ojius Okalu, and even when convicted by the EFCC, you see most of them, they are put in the comfort of personal prisons. Let me use that word. And before you know it, presidential pardons coming. Then how do you want the common man on the street to see democracy? Now, truly, when I look at that kind of democracy, I weep and I miss people like Gani.
Yaya Bello will come out and contest for the position of Senate, and he will still win in this Nigeria. That's the truth.
He will contest election. Just watch it. That's Nigeria. But you see, sir, we are talking about the politicians. I sat down to.
Natasha might not be able to win again, but Yaya Bello will come and he will win. And that's my problem with why I say I have issues with Peter.
Now let me tell you why. Let me tell you why we win. You see, the biggest problem we have is electoral empire and our security agencies. Because I have seen elections that security agents help to rig. And most of the elections we do in this country, especially at our state level, the local government elections, even at the federal elections, are not truly the representations of the electorate. Because what we vote is not what is reflected. You understand? And what is vote is not always what is reflected. And we have lost value we have lost self-value as a people. Now, when you look at what is happening, that as Nigerians, these politicians, they were once members of the electorate. They were once common citizens like us.
Yes.
Now they jumped ship, they have become different. What is that thing that is changing their mindset? What is that thing that is making them feel more of themselves and less of the people they are leading? It's only in Nigeria you see our leaders a year into governance of 4-year term, they start projecting for the next election. They throw governance away and they start projecting for the next election. On what grounds? So what happens to governance? It's only in Nigeria you see this kind of things, that people have come to understand and see politics as a career. We need to have a reform, an electoral reform that would bring down the wages and remuneration for our political class and make political office less attractive and more ideologically based to attract only people with content. I feel so sick, so sad when I see situations where somebody that I know to be an Agbero, for example, or somebody I know not to have gone to school, become a councillor, become a member of us, to rule.
We know he's a village school. We know he's a village
capacity does that person have to prove?
We know he's a
village school. Does not help. You see them in elective offices amassing degrees, first degree, master's degree. You wonder when they went to the school. You wonder when they call themselves, before you know, they get PhDs.
Yes. The political system and everybody wants to
talk. Everybody can communicate.
Yes. Everybody wants to follow that path.
It's majorly that, and you see a situation that everybody wants to follow that path. Look, okay, now, so you're talking about opposition. Let me come down to my state, for example. There are so many.
Thank you.
There are so many politicians that feel dissatisfied with the present composition of the Delta State PDP, for example, that have defected to the APC. So, of what use were you in the PDP initially in the first place? Must you always be in political office? Can't you be a member of a party and subject yourself to service without thinking of what you are going to get back? And now, how can we be buying elective office forms for hundreds of millions, presidential form, 45 million thereabout or wherever? As I said, why our democracy is too expensive to manage? It's too expensive. Now, talking about INEC, that needs total reorientation and real transformation. Because the people, that is why when the lecturers complain, I laugh at them. There's no lecturer that will complain to my ear and I will not tell him a word. Because the professors that are INEC returning officers at the state and national level willingly, in collusion and collaboration with forces of government, rig these elections or read out election results that are not the true reflection of the electorate votes. And you expect that you complain that education is underfunded. What did you do when you had
the chance? Okay. Now I know this is gonna be the studio will be boiling today, and we're gonna keep this.
What the engineer is saying is just the truth. Honestly.
Yes. No, Mary. You see,
I
want to even remind engineer,
and we are here as a people.
Yes. Go on, sir.
The position you have is what you and I are doing now on SROTV. The only opposition you have is what Sowore and those other people are doing in Lagos. Look at Asaba. We cried the price of food and nobody could come out. Instead, we had more of security agents doing the
bidding of the government. Oh my God. Well, we're gonna keep this seat. We're gonna name some politicians today, and we're gonna quote what they're doing. Very important. I don't know. The network is a shame, but this is really very important. And I want Asaba to hear this. I really want Asaba to hear what I'm about to say. I heard the governor of Delta State. He was saying that the president is in support of this government, of his government too. The president is in support of this government.
Justice in this country cannot be overemphasized. And it's an impeachable offense on the leadership of the APC for the National Assembly to have taken action in a Senate, and what we're not saying that. Now look at the National Assembly. People that came to the National Assembly on the platform of smaller political parties like ABGA, Labour Party, and all that, they have been so cajoled. You see, the gullibility of Nigerians is part of our problems. The politicians lack integrity. I will say it and I'm going to say it. Our political elite, they lack integrity, they lack character, they lack personality. They might have power and affluence, but they lack the true ingredients of leadership. And that is the price we are paying today as a people. This price will continue to pay until we as a people decide to fight this fight holistically, not with carrying guns, but like with what we are doing now. Intellectual impartation of ideology. Because people are ignorant. Even those of them, what they know is they know the salary of councillor, the salary of SA, SSC. They just want to get political appointment, political patronage, and they are okay with the system. They forget that they have a larger family, not just their extended families who still go to this market, who still go to purchase food items, who are still intimidated. I am just scared. My mother is in Warri. I've been in Asaba. I have not been to Warri in the last 2 years. Not because I don't want to go, but because my mind just doesn't want to. It happens everywhere. Between here and Ogwashi, anything can happen. So I don't feel secure in my own country, in my own state. Now look, the 36 state governors collect security votes. What have they been able to do with these security votes? Vigilantes have been made. How can vigilantes? What are our police force doing? They are guiding the elites, allowing vigilantes to guide us with their guns. Then when there's an infraction, like we saw in Uromi, like what we are hearing, they have seized all the arms from all the vigilantes in Uromi and environs, because we have selective treatment of situations in this country until we decide to unite, debasing religion, taking away ethnicity, and taking away culture, taking away, and see ourselves as one Nigeria, not along Fulanis or Hausas or Igbos. We can't go anywhere. There's a lot of triviality within political ruling class. They're so comfortable. How many of their children are schooling here? That is why you can't have an opposition. They'll give you an offer, like James Adichie said. He said there's always a price tag. And it's true. Everybody has a price tag. You are in the APC, you are in the Labour Party, what have you achieved? Come, let me give you a price. We'll take you and your family on vacation. We'll give you a house in Dubai. Why don't you build an industry for the people? The people that we are seeing causing this mayhem, they are people who are part of the society. They are killing, and the government is doing nothing. I was coming over here on the Asaba Expressway. There was somebody who was blowing siren behind me. Normally I don't give a hoot about them. There was a lead Hilux with 4 mobile policemen. Then the 2 Escade jeeps passed. Another Hilux with 4 mobile policemen. That means 1 individual, 8 policemen. Then how can we govern our city? If you make the city governable, peaceful, bereft of security crisis, you wouldn't need 8 policemen. Then how many will be left to govern the common man? And we call ourselves
anyhow.
Our political elites are wicked in governance.
How is that they keep someone in Abuja just like that?
It's sickening enough. It's sickening enough.
You see,
I have never seen, sir. Yes. Democracy invariably started in 1999. I have known someone like Fani Kayode. He has been in APC, he has been in PDP, he has been in APC. Now, look at Rino Mokri. He even criticized Tinubu. I now noticed
and said he can never work for Tinubu. He said he can never work for Tinubu. That was
looking at the faults of our leaders. We, the followers, are culpable as well. We have a mentality of sycophancy. Yes. We play to the gallery. To attract peanuts. I've seen situations where people have sold their birthright. Even Esau that sold his birthright will be very happy that at least it's better than some people. People have sold their birthright for 5,000, 10,000 naira to contravene the status quo that would have helped the majority of the people. So the opposition has been weakened. Finally, looking at the National Assembly and our state houses of assembly, there is a structured pattern of cajoling those in smaller parties to the ruling party by what I call political blackmail. Even if you don't have any criminal offense, they will create one for you to run to them, and they will tell you for this matter to sweat under the carpet and join the ruling party. Then how can we have credibility? There are so many impeachable offenses that we have seen in government, and both at state and federal level, that even we were not saying impeach, but even show a process that yes, this assembly is truly reflective of an independent National Assembly. We don't. What we are so concerned, the eyes have it, they will lay the hammer. I mean, that's why I look at, when I listen to other news channels, I watch international politics, and I look at our kind of politics, I weep. It's sickening and it's disheartening and discouraging, but that a generation is going to pay dearly
for what we're doing now,
for the crimes of this generation. I'm secondly not when the same people that are ruling us in the 80s then, when Muhammadu Buhari came to Federal Government College, Mina, on the 17th of January 1983 and 84, they just came into power. They came to commission El Amin Bakery and El Amin Secondary School, owned by the wife. He had the privilege of coming to our school when assembly ground. And I will never forget, Buhari told us verbatim that he eulogized the children, and he finally ended with this salvo that we are the leaders of tomorrow. That amongst us are going to be leaders, governors, and presidents. And I'm a father of 4 today, and my tomorrow, I think it has come and is almost going. It won't go in Jesus' name. But my tomorrow has come, and we are the same people that told me when I was 11 years. Are the same people that are still ruling me now,
Mishak,
and you want me to be happy.
Mishak, let's take it this way. I can understand your passion I don't want to call it frustration, you
It
know,
can, yes, it's part of it. You are frustrated with that
but
democracy. Our democracy is
some of your
frustrating.
expectation are, you know, in this climb,
You would
you are
say so.
expecting service.
Yes.
The thing is not about service, the thing is about interest.
Yes. Just
It's
interest.
interest driven. Nobody is propelled by how to bring service to the
At
people.
all.
I don't know what your expectations are about the National Assembly, but the National Assembly, the Senate particularly, has become a retirement ground for a politician.
Yes, all the
If you
politicians, all of
stay
senators
in
especially.
office for 8 years as a governor, then the next thing for you to do is to go to the National Assembly, and you go there to cool off. You understand? So, what opposition are you expecting from this? Because the founding fathers of democracy, apart from internal democracy in parties and the credibility in opposition, ideological differences, manifestos with which you market political parties,
Yes.
then you also find out that there should be independence of the judiciary. The legislature should function separate in order to act as a check and balance to the executive. What kind of check and balance are you expecting from the National Assembly as currently constituted? So at the end of the day, you find out that a number of them, even in their sincerity, have given up hope even about this nation, you know.
They have.
But
They have.
while they are waiting for what happens next, you see a situation where some of them are just but trying to see how they can, you know, feather their nest
Yes. That is only not is they're not trying to see that is
economically
what they are doing.
Yes.
and see what they can do. But how many of their children are in the
In the
schools
country.
in the
In
country?
Nigeria.
You visit any of the federal universities, you will weep. You visit any of the federal institutions, you will weep. Some of the federal roads are not passable. Then and the insecurity everywhere all over the country. Then issue of ransom paying. I think it's one of the papers today that Nuhu Ribadu is warning people and organizations not to pay ransom.
Then we're
In
going to
a,
rescue
in a,
these
in a
people.
nation where the security architecture cannot rescue you,
Exactly.
serving military generals are being kidnapped, and
Yes.
their friends are collecting money and paying this ransom. Then
Exactly.
they now get, pick somebody dear to you or somebody close to you as a family. There happened to be a university in this country that is the whole of its medical faculty, the medical college of the university, a particular class, the clinical class, was traveling from one health institution to the other. They picked the whole of them in the highest bus. Then you will leave your child that you have spent some of your earnings in the past 6, 7 years trying to see that he becomes a qualified medical doctor. Then you now leave such a child in the hands of the kidnappers. And they are sending you videos of how they are being tortured, how they are being ill treated.
There is somebody
And
saying
the government cannot say,
do anything.
I laughed when severally in the speech that was crafted for Tinubu over the declaration of state of emergency in Rivers, when he said no responsible government can sit back and watch following the Supreme Court declaration and all that. What all the things that happened in Rivers State were, if not all, most of the things were politically orchestrated. It was a high political script that was drafted, and it was expected to end up there, declaration of a state of emergency. And it's not that this may be just the first phase. A second phase will come, ultimately towards grabbing the state towards 2027. Then the question now should be, given this scenario, what should the political parties do? Can they get organized better? As they are organizing, they are being infiltrated.
Exactly.
Because the game is about money, political patronage. and they are being weakened. When shall we have political parties that are run on ideological ground? That should you lose an election, if when Labour Party lost the election the way it did, that they had remained as formidable, and if they had not, the rank and file had not been infiltrated, it's not only Abia State that they would have been in control of, and the
Yes.
number of legislators they have. They show the promises to be a galvanizing force for the youth, the women, the minorities, and all those people who feel disenchanted about what is going on now. But as 2027 is approaching, we find out that the party is almost crippled. And the same thing for a number of the other opposition parties, because we run a political system that is based on, somebody had said, corruption already, that is also based on political patronage, that is based on stomach infrastructure. And in all this, there is no place for ideology. And there is no party that has, as we speak now, clear, marketable manifesto with which you can identify this party. Somebody please get out to the street and tell me the difference between APC and PDP is that one is in power and is trying to poach people to come, and the other one is not in power and is trying to see how to come to power. Ideologically speaking, and analysis of their manifesto, I can't see difference. The next other thing perhaps is the difference in the address of their party headquarters, and maybe the symbol of their flag and the symbol, their political symbol. That is just all. But in terms of relating, engaging with the people, sensitizing the people, you just see that they are two sides of the same coin. That get into power, amass as much wealth as possible, and see how to keep it, so that days to the election, the bullion van will come, and having so pauperize the people for 3.5 years or more, when you now dazzle a few things around them, they will follow you. And Mishak has already talked about psychophancy, instead of ideology. And that is the danger. And somebody will ask, how long more can this go? And what do we need to do now in order to rescue our democracy? Because the way it is going now, predictably, is going down the drain. Democracy in this climate is endangered and needs to be salvaged.
In fact, in as much as we need to salvage democracy, it's a very big responsibility on the part of government to take full responsibility for the security failure of this government presently. Because how do we, you see, the opposition is part of the problem of our democracy. The opposition is part of the problem, because when I look at the opposition, they create some section of the opposition, because feel dissatisfied. The insecurity we are seeing today is a creation of both the ruling party and the opposition parties, because of interest, like my brother said, because of their selfish interest. Because how can you tell me that don't we have an air force or a police helicopter unit? When kidnappings go on our expressway, what stops the police for using? Do you see that in the what stops the police for using the helicopters? And over the most of those bushes are mainly grasslands and savannas. It's only in the south here, the south, that we Niger Delta area, that we have mangroves and that we have dense forests. That maybe they can hide under the canopy of the dense forest. But if these things happen, do you tell me these guys will not illuminate their habitations in the night? They do. But our security architecture has been so structured to fail because of sentimental attachment to religion and language. And it's making it difficult. Let me tell us something. The DSS, I must commend them, but they are handicapped. Why do I say it? They are good at intelligence gathering, but they are not to implement the intelligence that have been gathered. I was privileged to have been informed of that. When they gather intelligence, they hand it over to their bosses, who hand it over to the executive, either at state level or at federal level. It is the onus that lies on them to approve for action to be taken on intelligence and legally. But in most cases, it's a stillbirth. It dies a natural death because of interest. Now, the crisis we are facing in Nigeria today, both the opposition, because we lack opposition, there's no opposition. So the alignment, I call it alignment opposition, is a creation of the political architecture, because it is those of them that are supposed to be truly in the opposition that are now soliciting through psychophancy for political patronage. I watched two videos of Reno Mokri, the one before Tinubu became president and the one after I became president. I laughed. Look at Fani Kayode. These are the hypocrites, so many of them even of Igbo extraction in the Senate. The Ojus of Kanus, the Uzolimas, what are they doing? What are they saying? These are oppositions that the National Assembly, we've had great leaders. But you see, they all went to see Buhari in Kaduna or so.
Yeah, I saw that.
The APC leaders. And none of them was able to mention the problems of this. They went for political patronage. I call it eye service. As the leader of the party, they're supposed to make him understand this is what the pulse of the people is, or this is the feeling of the people. If you do a vox pop around Asaba, for example, you are going to be appalled with the responses you are going to hear about the situation in this country. So we are paying lip service to true opposition in our society. Opposition is not just restricted to political parties alone. The social media is a form of opposition, like you and I are doing right now. The print and electronic media is a form of opposition. The NGOs, the civil societies, organizations, the labor unions are supposed to be opposition, but most of them have become moles. Fifth columnists have been infiltrated into most of these organizations, and moles have been planted who have brought politics. They have politicized this through opposition institutions, civil liberties, and all that, and created a mindset of receiving from the ruling party to be able to propagate the negativity that the ruling party and other political parties in the states. It's not just restricted to the center, even at state levels, all over the federation. It is sickening because we cannot get it right politically until we decide, both as the elected and the electorate, to take the decisions that will move this country forward. In America, look at what's happening. They are Senate, they question decisions of the president, but yet yes, decisions are reached outside plenary.
Yes.
Agreement is reached, and the decisions are only announced when it has been reached. Then plenary will now sit after decisions have been announced to give affirmation. Which kind of democracy is this?
Yes,
that most times that of plenary that they met at the Senate President's Lodge and to take, what a country. Then the executive, I have not seen any true opposition to policies of this government to say what you are saying is wrong. But this, the tax reforms they are talking about, till date, they have not mentioned it. Senators, how many? I'm sure you're in London. You go to you watch their plenary, or I don't know how you call it there, in the House of Commons. How many of them are there? Almost all of them. When I look at the American Senate and I look at the House of Commons, whenever I watch it on BBC or CNN, I see that it is full to capacity. The representatives are truly representatives of the people. But come to the Nigerian Senate, National Assembly. 3/4 of the senators will not be available. Either they're hobnobbing around the world or one place or the other. If we have 109 senates, for example, only about 50-something or less will be on seat. And amongst the 50-something, 20 will be sleeping or be catching a nap. Then how do you now legislate? How can this kind of people impeach when they take them for lunch in London on Friday, they come back on Sunday? How can they have a mindset to truly be an opposition? So we need to transform our mindset, our political mindset, before we can transform our ideology. And the most weakening fact that is limiting the power of the opposition is the judiciary. Until people are held accountable and made to do time for crimes.
Ah, people, you guys can hear it loud and clear. The strong message, as about they have this network issue. I hope we have that resolved by tomorrow. You can hear it loud and clear. You can see the frustration in all our voices today. And there is no difference between the APC, the PDP, the SDP, the Labour Party, the AFGA. No single difference in their ideology. Nobody can pin it out. I'm sure maybe when they want to register these parties, there is a set of manifestos. Are you aware? Why are you joining that party? That's my question for today. You join a party. Have you read the manifestos of your own political party? Can you stand for 5 minutes to talk about what your party stands for? That's been the question of the day. Can you stand for only 2 minutes and talk about your own political party? Be it APC, be it PDP, and this is sad. And that is the fundamental, that is the basis, because what the government or any society like ours, people come together under one belief that society should be governed with lesser taxation or with more taxation of the rich, so that there's always this what brings them together. They have one common foreign policy ideas, and me, I expect that when I see APC, I know what to expect. But in Nigeria, it is completely not the case, and it is sad. We're going to go on a very quick break. When I come back, I want to zero this matter on what I call, let's put it on Delta State today, and we're going to take a look at these two people. They've committed. You see, Ned as the camp from the AP to on the PDP to the APC. What were his reasons? I want to hear that. And for your information, the governor of Delta State once said, and it was in my community discussion, it came to Robo Progress Union, and he made a statement that the president is in support of his government. Now, is he trying to decamp? Is he afraid? What has the president got to do with his government? He is a different political party. Why must he align with the president? These are the things I don't understand. So these are some of the questions we'll be addressing today. Let us not be scared. We will look at this, and don't worry, sometimes we need to help you, because opposition, like what we do here, we are opposing most of the things you're doing. Not because we want to, but if this is not said, you continue to dance a masquerade that will take everybody to hell. You need to be stopped. And that's what we do in so many ways. Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we're going to zero this discussion on these two individuals. I want somebody to justify. Maybe they have their reasons. Maybe that for why Oboribori will say the president is in support of his government. What has the president got to do with Oboribori's government? Is he suffering from inferiority complex? Is he afraid that what happened in Edo will happen to him? We need to know. Then we're going to discuss that. And number two, Ned, if you believe you are an educated man, you know what is it? You have a reason for joining a political party. It's not going to be because of the party. It's because of what the party stands for. Now you decamp from the PDP to APC. Is it? Does the APC have the same political ideology as the PDP? Then we don't need to have two. We don't need to have a party. We don't need to have two parties. We just need to have one party then. Because if Ned, you are sincere with yourself, then there's no good reason why you cannot actually stand and fight for what you believe within the party. All of a sudden, it's like somebody who was a Muslim changed to be a Christian, or a Christian changing to be a Muslim, just because he's looking for money or he's not satisfied with one thing. I don't see it that way. And maybe I need to be educated. Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, my people, we're going to take a look. We're going to zero this discussion on these two people before we round up the show. Don't go away. Stay with us.
Nigeria Week London 2025. It's time to celebrate the pulse of Africa's most exciting nation. Nigeria Week London 2025 is coming to Hippodrome Theatre from July 24th to 26, 2025, showcasing the best in Nigerian arts, music, fashion, and investment opportunities. Whether you're looking to discover the future of real estate, explore Nigeria's culinary masterpieces, or get immersed in an electric Afrobeat performance, this is the event of the year. You can also join us for a film festival, cultural dance spectacles, and the recognition awards. Don't miss out on the business opportunities and cultural experiences waiting for you. Book your tickets now before they're gone on eventbrite.co.uk. Call or text +447 438 893 190 or 080 330 46768 or +447 459 071 747. Visit our website superiorradioandtelevision.com. Nigeria Week London 2025. Nigeria Week London 2025, celebrating the best of Nigeria, is partnered with Civil Society, scaling up nutrition in Nigeria.
Welcome back, people. Welcome back. It's a very beautiful morning from London, and I know Nigeria is glowing. Our weather moves so quick. It's like a jump, like what you see in Nigerian politicians. The UK weather can just jump from very cold to very hot, and then from very hot to very cold. Maybe that's time our brain doesn't work well here. Anyway, you Nigerians don't have that problem. I don't know why you see having this issue. This topic is a very sensitive one. The role of credible opposition in a society. It's long overdue that we have these difficult issues and we're having it today. So let us deal with it for what it is. And like I said, Mary, I asked Mary a very simple question. Can you tell me what you understand by the difference between, yes, let's see whether we can have a Asaba bag. No, Asaba will always have their network issue there. Thank God to have them. So like I was saying, the question is, do you people know the difference between the APC and the PDP? The answer, I'm sure, is the same. I want to send people on the street. Let them even tell us whether Nigerians can, out of every 10 Nigerians, one know the difference between APC and PDP, other than the one is umbrella and the other one is a group. I don't think the people understand what these two political parties stand for. And if that is the case, what are we doing? So that is why engineer was telling us that we're not practicing that kind of democracy. We're practicing a democracy where you either vote because of your tribe or your religion or this, but even your vote will not count because those elites have the institution. They have the INEC, the umpire is compromised always. We have the security system, which always work for the government or for those in power or those who can pay for it. What's the hope? And at the end, they will just give you 5,000 naira or 10,000 naira to buy your food, and they ruin your life for another 4 years. That's been our destiny. We need to change it. But that is not the case. Now, I am wondering, when I saw this, and I want to focus on the government data state today. I'm sorry, sir. We have to do this. All right. You came out in an open broadcast. I don't know what was wrong. And you said the president is in support of this government. It's a big word. The question is, are you in the same political party with the president? When do you need him to support your government? Is he threatening you? Or you are afraid that you might be removed from your office? These are questions that comes to mind as an ordinary person because you have your political party. You are not in the same political with the president. Why? Okay, that is one. Number two, we have Ned. Let me have these two people picture here. They are very handsome men, and all of them from Delta State. Thank God I have two Deltans today. Look at Ned, an educated man, a lawyer by this, trained in the United Kingdom. So you understand the meaning of a political party. You join the PDP because you agree with the ideology of the of PDP. So how does that automatically change because of the performance of the governor for you to switch from the PDP straight to the APC? How does it work? I don't understand it. Because Mary, if I go to an Anglican church today, I can understand if I change to Catholic church. Or meaning there's no difference between the Anglican and the Catholic church. But there's a big difference, so Mary, between the Catholic church and the mosque. Somebody is worshiping in the Catholic church today, the next day you see him in the mosque. There's something wrong with him. Exactly what Ned has done. Ned was worshiping with us in the Catholic church. Now he's going to the mosque to worship. Does that add up? That is what I don't understand. Ned might be able to explain.
That's a politician for you, even though his own went too far. Or he's a politician, so it is what it is.
Yeah, maybe, but the meaning is a politician with no integrity, no actor, no content. We see sometimes, Mary, there are some people I say, some people have no content. Martin Luther King said we should judge people not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Where is the content of the characters of these two men in Delta State today? Because they have some little things together. He came out and he was very good and said the governor is not all the money coming to Delta State because his own people are not being, maybe they're not well funded. So he got upset and he left the party to the other political party. The question is, my people, those of you, the educated elites, I have some learned people with me on the platform. Would that happen in, say, for instance, a Democrat in America will get upset because his president is not performing? Or now we have Donald Trump. So because somebody in Donald Trump, somebody who belongs to Donald Trump party, will now change to the Democratic Party because Donald Trump did not put some money in their list. It's confusing. Or in the UK here, you could just leave Labour Party to the Tory just because you have issue with your Prime Minister. You have no character. You are even a daft. And for somebody, a lawyer like Ned, to do this, it brings the question to, if every politician is doing it, I can understand. I understand some of them are village fools. But Ned is not. Ned is not a village fool. He understands. He understands what party. He knows why he joined the party, unless he doesn't. I won't be bringing this governor in here because I don't know where the governor actually got his own understanding of politics. So I cannot. I may be able to hold Ned. But the people say in the UK, or when you study law, they will tell you that the judge will be hard on you if you have the training. If you're an accountant for 20 years and you are serving and you are trained to be an accountant and you made such a grievous mistake, the judge will be harder on you than somebody who doesn't go to school, who got a job. And so Ned is a lawyer trained in the United Kingdom with all the ingredients of what it takes to understand why he joined a political party. Why did Ned, let me put it there, sir. This will not be Regina, your matter, not that the Chris they hold you today. Where is Ned? What is his justification for decamping to the other party? And number two, why did the governor of Delta State cry out that, the president is in support of my government? Maybe I'm confused. Listen, I don't belong to this world. Where are we? What are we doing to ourselves? And I know this. I leave this to people in Asaba because this is your state. I know this is happening across the country, but I know Asaba will be close. They have monitored this. You might not see where the governor made this statement, yes, but we are aware that Ned has decamped from this party. It's not as if we know, like you rightly said, we know it's in other places. I don't know how many political parties Atiku has run for president. He has run under the APC. He has run under the PDP. He's now coming. I thought he's going to go to the SDP now. No content, no character. No content, no character. Peter Obi have to change from the PDP So the Labour Party, you first Peter ran under the PDP, and all of a sudden Peter was in the Labour Party, and we say yes, this is what Peter. Why were you in the PDP? This is a party where you serve as a governor for how many years? And now you decamp. I'm talking of the content of characters of our politicians. It's disturbing. And when a country or when a democracy is not built on these fundamentals, then there is no foundation. Don't ask me why we are where we are. Because if I belong to a Catholic church and I believe in the Catholic church, I will not be leaving Catholic church for the mosque just because my reverend father is misbehaving. And if I am a governor, I am doing my own thing. When will I be? When does the president approve of what I'm doing? What does it matter? Do we belong to the same party? Are we doing the same job? Why is it so inferior to say the president is supporting this? Is he trying to decamp? That's the question I asked myself that day. My brother brought it to me and we were laughing. So, and I know they are aware of what I'm saying now. My question is this what we are building for our children? Is this the democracy Nigeria is practicing? Because sometimes you said you were talking about dividend of democracy. We don't want to talk of the shameful thing happening now. So in any way at all, there is no opposition in Nigeria. And the danger is this. And I like what Obama said here on this issue like this. This is what Obama said. He said, democracy might work a bit better if we recognize that all of us possesses value that are worthy of respect. He's talking of respect for one another. And that is what it would not do. Say, if liberals at least acknowledge that the recreational hunter feel the same way about his gun as they feel about their liberty, their library books. And if the conservative will recognize that most women feel as protective of their right to reproductive freedom as an evangelical do with the right to worship. And these are very big words Obama used there. Very, very big. And I want to keep it on the screen for some time. I'm sorry that you will not see some part of this thing when I was uploading this slide. This is a very simple thing. Obama was talking about the society. We have that pluralism. Everybody cannot agree with the same thing. The women in America, they want to have abortion freedom. Some, of course. Then some people, of course, this is what I love about the United States of America. That is why they're going to do better always. They don't agree on everything, but they don't see people cross carpeting. They stick to what they want, and what they do, they try to win election on that basis. What they do is they now campaign and campaign. Did you see what happened during the Donald Trump? They were moving from one place to the other, trying to win the last vote. If you see what happened in America, it was democracy at its best. You see people, volunteers, going to share papers, share this thing. Have you voted? Please vote for us. You know why? The power was in the hands of the people. And in another 4 years, they're going back to the people to judge whether, you see, in fact, Donald Trump will know, again, it's another time. A time of reckoning has come again. What is bringing the people together, why they are able to speak, is they believe, is their individual beliefs. And sticking to it. I cannot see somebody who is a core Christian joining the Democratic Party in America. If you are a fanatical Christian, you will not, because there are some values. The Democrat will say, hey, if you want to sleep with a man, sleep with a man. It's not the problem. But the core Christian will say, oh, that is against Christian value. There's a place for you. You go to the Conservative Party. If that outweighs your value for other things, so you have a choice. Today in Nigeria, do we have a choice? Do we know what they stand for? Now, if I'm opposing the gay movement, if I don't support gay, which party will I go in Nigeria? Let's break it down simple. I don't know. It's as simple as that. Now, if I want lesser taxation on me as a rich man, Which party do I go for? Either I'm not looking at Tinubu or Labour. Not Tinubu or Peter Obi, not the parties. This is the problem. It's either Peter or Tinubu or Atiku, not the political parties. No. I don't get it. So our understanding of party of democracy is loyalty to the man, not to the political party. Then why don't we just remove political parties and let everybody contest? What would we do with political parties? What is the use of these political parties? And like I said yesterday on this show, as of today now, that man, Mary, that your boyfriend in FCT. Wike is still there. Wike still belongs to the PDP. But he's serving under the APC government. And I'm wondering, okay, maybe it can happen. Why not? But what does Wike have a character? So all he wants is how to get to power. Not because of what he believes. So what do you expect from such a person? If I just want to get to power, not because of what I want to do with the power, what do you expect? Meaning it's about me. A politician that will join a political party will try to win that party to win an election so society can change towards their belief. That is what happens when the party ideology counts. Today, there is no ideology in our political parties. So it is either Peter Obi come to tell us something big, we believe in Peter Obi, not the party. We believe in Atiku, not the party. Now we believe in Tinubu, not the party. And you're telling me that we're going to have a democracy, or this is the democracy of our time? Like engineer said, the future generation, they're going to suffer this. And they will blame us. They will blame us. It's a country where you cannot tell the difference between the Christians and the Muslims. So anybody that goes to mosque today, the next day he's the Christ. Only that the Christ practice that he goes to the church the next day. But at least there's something in common. They have God. But these people don't have anything in common. Or maybe okay, they have Nigeria in common. They love Nigeria. Maybe they love Nigeria. So they are working for Nigeria. It doesn't matter under which party. They love Nigeria so much, so they want to work for Nigeria. See what we do here today. This topic, I think we really need to give it some real attention. Because if somebody that comes to you and say, I want you to vote for me, and you test the person, why is it, what does this person, you may not even understand. The person will say, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. The first thing you ask is, okay, why are you in that party? This is your party, because you didn't come to us alone. You're not an independent candidate, you believe in so thing. So you want to win election, this party win this election. So we have a society moving in that direction. That's what we see in this part of the world. That is what democracy means in the UK and in the America where we copied it from. You will know when the PDP, when the conservative wins election, or in America they are the Republican, or when the Tory wins here, or when the Labour wins here, or when the Democrats win in the United States. But in Nigeria, you don't know what to expect if PDP win. Oh, you're not going to talk of the party. You're going to talk of the man in power. Today is Tinubu, not even the APC. Because Tinubu is not doing what the APC even says. I don't know what the APC stands for anyway. So it's Tinubu we are talking about, not the APC. Has Tinubu tried to convince us that this is what his party stands for? Has Tinubu made a statement and said, this is the belief of us, the APC? Because that's what you will see. A true party ideological driven society, the leader will tell you this is what we stand for. And now, you see what is going on in America today. Donald Trump made it clear that if I win, it will be this and this and that. And they voted for him. And in a way, it aligned. If you need to watch Fox News, it will align with the ideology of the Republican Party. My people, can you guys in Asaba explain to us in a layman term, so that because when we bring the matter to Ned and your governor, maybe it makes it clearer. What is the rationale between a sitting senator leaving his party to another party because his governor is not performing? The question I ask is, why was he in the party? That is one. Okay, maybe he's not satisfied with the work of this party, so he goes to the next one. That makes sense. And then your governor coming out to say, the president is in support of my government. In the fear when they don't kick out for power. What I explain to me, in Jesus' name. I leave the Asaba to answer this.
Can you hear us?
Yes, we can hear you now.
All right, thank you very much. I think this is a very simple thing. We earlier on talked about it when we were looking at the disposition of the strength of the opposition in our society. And it's awakening, it's political awakening to understand that most of our politicians are there for their own personal and selfish interests. Now, when you look at the political calculus of Delta State, in fact, let me just bring to your attention, there's a breaking news now, maybe because you're online, you wouldn't you wouldn't know. The former Deputy Governor of Delta State, Kingston Tuaro, has just been pictured with the APC National Chairman, with Ned Nwoko, with some APC stalwarts presently in Abuja, and it's a clear indication that probably there's going to be a declaration of his defection. I think it's not possible for you to see it, but it's just happening now. So that is just what we talk about, a system of political parties that lack political ideology. And most of these political parties are founded on very, very shaky foundation. It is just a coalition of friends that have decided to say, okay, let's see if we can shake the tide a little and see. If we can shake it down and see if they will notice us and bring our attention to bear. They are not doing it because they want to help the people. They're not doing it because they want to serve the people. Like my elder brother here spoke, service and lack of service. Our political ideology is more. Do you hear in America, in the UK, do the conservatives come out to say the more agenda, or the renewal agenda, or the reform agenda? Or I mean, you should have a manifesto of what you want to do. Like in reference, most of you, your generation, and that's why I was telling my senior brother, Uncle Fred, here in the studio, I say your generation failed us, because most of you went to school with UPN, free books, free education. You did, if I'm not mistaken. And free books, free education.
Free education.
Some of the people that are ruling us today, some of the people that are ruling us today, they ate from the cafeterias in schools where they were eating, they had meal tickets, they were eating full chicken. We can't even eat now. And after that, you all went to UK, America, Canada on government scholarship. And you see a political system where most of these people are more concerned with dragging. They want the government to build institutions in their villages without recourse to the viability. Come and build a high institution in my village. So that it be that I brought it. How many institutions do you have in the UK compared to in Nigeria? Now, how many factories do we have in Nigeria? Most of these graduates that are churned out, what jobs do you make available for them? When we had the oil boom, and of course the post-independence era, pre-independence, post-independence era, and the oil boom, big conglomerates go to NYSC camps, right when after NYSC, even before then, they go to final year classes to get jobs ready for the final year graduates. to get jobs. That was how my dad entered into Shell. That was how a lot of our friends worked in Gulf, worked in Oceaniering, worried them, worked in NMPC, worked in all that. The jobs were waiting. But now we don't even have these companies anymore. There have been an exflux of manpower and developmental companies out of this country because of policies. They're in Ghana, Togo, Gabon, because of our policies here. But we keep creating more universities. In some states, in Delta State, how many universities do we at least that are issues, university creation, the problem? And
Yes.
70% of the bike riders in Asaba are graduates. 40% of that 70% are master's degree holders. 20% are PhD holders. They are riding a Okada. There are no jobs. Our institutions are more like where we're going to call lessons. And where they just go, when you have a 2-story building, they will give you license to start a polytechnic and all that because of lack of political ideology and lack of truthful opposition. Now look at the hobnobbing. If they are practicing politics of ideology, most of them will not leave their political party because they feel aligned. Everybody cannot have political posts or political appointments at the same time. It will shock you to know that there is multiplicity of portfolios in most of our states, inclusive our state here, Delta. One portfolio, you have SSA, executive assistant, SAs, or 2 SAs. You have senatorial SA, almost for one position, almost 9 people for that appointment. Why? And the youth don't have jobs. Those jobs are creating the job of and the youth don't have jobs. And you're creating universities. Now look at there's going to be a tsunami in this country, a political tsunami, because and the tsunami will not affect me and you. The politicians will swallow themselves because of greed. And what is the reason for this? Or this? A lot of them don't mention them because some of them are my friends. If they hear me mention their name now, they will be shocked that I've left one present ruling party for other parties to APC, for example. That means it is the same thing. They are the same, whether the national, state, or local government or world level, they are the same. It is not about serving the electorate, it's about serving themselves. Now, what do most of them do when they're in power? 90% of the hotels and lounges we have in Delta State, for example, are owned by politicians. People that could not have afforded it if they were truly living according to the service-oriented political ideology that was supposed to follow lounges. What stops them from building factories?
Okay, Mishak, let's take it from this point. He's brought a case study to us, and is asking us to see how can we justify the light of Nigerians' democracy? How do we explain that somebody who got trained in one of the best, governance system in the world, coming here cannot differentiate between a political party? He slept today as a PDP, and he woke up the next morning and announced his membership of APC. I think one is that our democracy is still evolving. So it's still evolving. Yes, the climb you're talking of, they have had a consolidated
Yeah. That's a good excuse. I think that's a good excuse from Mubaka. That's a good one. We are still evolving. 1990 now. Okay, we're still young. We are still democratically a young society.
Yes, that's how Bumbu said. We find a situation where it's indeed a dangerous one. Because we have talked things about self here, lack of ideology, lack of service, and so there can be consistency.
Yes.
If there is anything consistent, it's in the inconsistency of these politicians. Because the fellow you are talking about, you are talking about has been in ABGA, has been in SDP, has been in PDP, has been in APC, is back now. So in all this, one thing is consistent. It's about which political platform will give him the next power which he wants to have.
That's what he wants.
We are here. We are here in Nigeria. We are here in Delta. And we have been following with trends. And the trend is that he believes that he contributed significantly to the emergence of the political setup currently in Delta State, and had expected that for the asking, the structure of the political structure of Delta North could have been handed over to him to dictate the pace. Don't forget that when that arrangement was being made, it was expected that the governor at that time was going to emerge as the vice president of the nation. So it wouldn't have been out of place for the incoming governor then to promise him, yes, our principal is going to be vice president. You know, so yes, it doesn't cost me anything to hand over the political structure of Delta North to you. Okay, now reality check is such that he cannot control that, and he cannot hand it over to him because he's the godfather of the current governor is in Owoibo, and he desperately needs this political structure because he needs it, you know, either to return to the Senate or he needs it. And so you can't hand it over to Ned. And Ned has checked. And realistically speaking, well, I don't belong here. I'm not in control of the
PDP. Okpetu, can you guys see this? This is quite interesting. The network will come back because we need to read one or two papers before we close. So don't go away, please. It's very unfortunate that sometimes the disruption in our network would allow the broadcast to flow as it's supposed to be. So I'm really, I have to apologize for that, but it is what it is at the moment. I will not be ending this show without taking a look at least some of the few papers. The most important one today for me is how 11 PDP governors urging the Supreme Court to halt the emergency rule in Rivers State. It's very important. I hope I have them back. Yes. Are you back?
Yeah. Yes, we are. Good. So the focus is the control of power, not for service. Control of power for control of resources. So that is the end. The means to the end is the structure, the political structure for that capture of power. Yes. And the fellow, in spite of your belief of him, of having an international exposure, you know, but the reality check now is that with this current structure on ground, he cannot return to the Senate. And so what does he have to do? He has to jump ship.
Yes.
He has to jump ship. And now jumping ship has made the political party that has been in control of Delta State since 1999 to have lost Delta North senatorial district. They are not in control of South, and they are not in control of Central either. You know, so the three senators are in APC. And here you have a governor who doesn't have senators. And so the street wisdom, which he has always talked about, is such that he needs to have the support of their father,
the president.
Because he just has to survive.
Yes,
here you are, a general in the local setting, general of Delta State politics.
The wife of the president is actually from Delta State.
Yes.
Shakira.
So you have a general. Who is a general without an army? You are a governor without senators. You know, exactly. So the only wise thing for you to do at this point is to play the politics of partnership, not that of confrontation. Yes, you cannot confront because if you confront, it started from Ondo to Edo, you were bypassed to Rivers. But the same stick they used to beat the Edo and Ondo and Rivers, it's not been thrown away very far. It's near. So it can be used in Delta. So exactly. You just got to put your thinking cap. Yes, politics must not at all times be that of confrontation. There are federal projects, there are federal roads in Delta. You need to have their buy-in for them to come to Delta and see you as a useful structure that they can partner with and not necessarily through confrontation. We have had history of confrontation in the past the resource control, Obasanjo and Ibori, and we do know where it ended. Politics of partnership could help us better at this point in time. I wouldn't understand the semantics in the context of where he said it. I have the support of my president. Yeah, but a governor in a federation who says, yes, we are not particularly in US, who says, yes, Delta State is a state of its own, but we are partnering with the federal government. I don't think he has spoken something that can be considered to be bizarre or politically obnoxious. You know, what he's saying is that he is not politically speaking an orphan. He has the president supporting him.
Exactly.
In terms of him, he's not a political orphan. So he has the president supporting him in the system and structure of what is going on. And that is expedient for his survival. Very, very expedient for his survival. When we consider that he does not have the National Assembly in his support. Because the three people he has from Delta in the National Assembly are in the opposition, thinking of how to root him out come 2027. So those are the political dynamics that we need to look at. It's about survival, political exigency. It's about control of resources. And in all this, the danger is that the interest of the people is not factored in. It suffers, and it suffers terribly. And we ask ourselves, is that democratic enough? If democracy is about the government of the people, for and by the people. And in all this now, the senator you referenced here on this program, did he consult his constituency? The consultation he had with his constituency was about the creation of an Ioma state.
They didn't consult the constituency.
Okay.
And people have had to ask that question. You have a state, Delta, and the leadership for now, the headquarters is in Asaba, Delta now. To what extent do you have the buy-in of your people in telling them that you are going to make them the sixth or so Southeast state, Igbo state, and all that? And what message does that send to the current governor, who is from Central, and all that? So what was the political sensibility of the dynamics of his language, and did he consult his people? How far-reaching was this consultation? But in all this, we still understand our democracy is evolving. Engineer Mishak is not comfortable with that because he has asked for how long will this evolution start?
Exactly.
But we cannot compare it with the democracy that has lasted for 200 and something years.
However, if it is evolving, there must be signs and indicators and indications relating to a trajectory of
that the plotting of the graph is going back.
But what we are
not going backwards.
Yes, it is not a progressive evolution, but a retrogressive evolution. That's where my fear is. Because if we are going to run into a brick wall, because
predictably so.
Looking more like a one-party state, one-party Nigeria. Yeah. What the APC is trying to do right now is to structure, is to coerce, it's the coercion, political coercion, to coerce everybody to come under the umbrella of the APC. Demobilize any form of opposition and create a sense of oneness. I mean, oligarch. I really don't know what to say, but it's appalling enough because the number of politicians I know in Delta State that have already cross-carpeted to the APC already is shocking. If I have to mention the names, you'll be shocked at the people you know.
If the APC succeeds with that, it will tinker with the Constitution. And if the Constitution is tinkered with, the body language of Tinubu is that of a monarchy, is that of a monarch rather, and is that of a life president. You understand?
Yes.
You know, and because we have seen it from Lagos. Though he may have handed over in Alausa, he may have handed over in Lagos, but from the days of Fashola and up until now, we have seen that the handing over in Lagos was merely symbolic. He has remained the father of Lagos State.
Yes.
They were consulting him. They were consulting him up till about 1 p.m. in Lagos at a particular time. And when he was feeling sleepy and he needed to go because he was already dozing, he moved and he said, Lagos wants to go and sleep. You know, so he saw himself as Lagos.
Lagos.
And Lagos
Maybe
was
one
him.
will be Nigeria
And
tomorrow.
over the years, he had this structure. He has had this structure, and he has dreamt and he had envisioned when he will progress from being Lagos to being Nigeria. And today he is Nigeria. And for goodness sake, he knows what to do with power. And he is not very interested in seeing a democratic exercise that will make him hand over alive. And so the constitution most likely will be tinkered with, and we may have a situation where affirmation of him as a president, possibly for life. That would mean that democracy, yes, democracy has finally died in the largest black nation of the world. And that would be very terrible for us. Remember what Peter Botha said, I think W.F. Botha, that the black man is not civilized enough to rule. That give him political power, he will amass wealth for himself and his tribe. Give him a gun, he will shoot his neighbor. So that was the white prediction, white reading of our mentality as blacks. And this is what is being confirmed by how we are playing out our democracy. And it's terribly unfortunate.
It is. It is very, very. Anyway, let's take a look at all this paper together before we wrap up the show. I cannot agree with you more. It's very, 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 very unfortunate. And like we said today, look at the headlines here. Very important headline on Punch, which says that 11 PDP governors urge the Supreme Court to halt Rivers State emergency rule. And this is long overdue. This is where we talk about the opposition. The opposition we talk about. This is how it can come to play. Because a country where there is, where would have, if the PDP was an opposition party, which is not to fight, but to raise concern of a particular set of people or people of a particular belief or a particular section of a country. Now the president has come out and said, emergency rule in Rivers. We'll be waiting. Do you know it's Sowore and it's young people that are opposing this? We'll be waiting for the PDP. Now the governors have spoken. Have the party himself been able to be an opposition to this? And maybe how is Tinubu able to silence everybody here? Don't we have people strong, a little bit of people opposing this in the Senate, in the House of Assembly, in the House of Rep? May God help us. We are really very late on the show. But maybe I will just hear one or two from you and then we'll try and wrap this show because it's almost 2 hours in the broadcast. You know, the breakdown in the transmission is one of those things that is breaking it down. Yeah. It will be unfair to this broadcast if we don't take a look at some of the papers. So what's your take? Now that the PDP governor has stand up to say, hey, this is unacceptable.
Well, there's nothing there. Let me say, the Nigerian politicians, I don't believe they can act a script from both sides. The PDP governors can be influenced to just throw that caveat because people are already complaining that there's no strong opposition. The APC can fund that narrative to let it look like there's an opposition, to give a sense of belonging to the PDP caucus. I mean, so many things are. It's for the naive mind, and the gullible mind, that will take anything serious being said by a politician in Nigeria presently. I take it with a pinch of salt, not hook, line, and sinker. But moving forward, from your question, you made reference to how has Tinubu been able to do it. He's been able to do it because it's taking charge of the institutions through cohesion, and they have stooges and proxies everywhere. It's either you are with us or you are against us. And if you are against us, we open a can of worms that will swallow you. So instead of you to remain on the good side of government, you have to join us, then your sins can be forgiven. That's the way.
Even at that, Meshach, I think what the PDP governors have tried doing, even when you had me ask you when was the declaration done in March, you know, so it took them time. As a political party, they could have acted faster. But perhaps it took them time to talk with constitutional lawyers, in order to come up. Now, the matter is with the Supreme Court. I think Nigeria has a historic opportunity for the judiciary to redeem itself.
That's it.
Exactly.
Now, PDP
That's a
has
big one.
presented a platform, and it is a historic one for the judiciary to redeem itself. It is dangerous or in any nation for people to believe, whether erroneously or empirically or with proofs, that the judiciary has been pocketed by somebody. It is dangerous. I feel insulted when I see on the social media that the head of Nigeria's judiciary is Nyesom Wike, and the head of the legislature is Godswill Akpabio, and the head of the executive is Tinubu. And you bring together these three people and you ask, is this our first 11? What do we have to say about their trajectory, about their antecedent in terms of principles? What do they represent? And if they are the one driving the ship of state for Nigerian nation, where is the destination? That is the danger. So now, you cannot blame the law or the court if nothing is brought before them. If the PDP governors have slept over their rights for this close to 1 month, now the onus is on the judiciary, because there are critical questions that should be asked in the kind of federalism that we are running. 3 tiers of government. The same way we voted for Tinubu was the same way, presumably, we voted for the local government chairman, was the same way we voted for the state governor, the same way we voted for members of the National Assembly. How now do you come to say that somebody, because he's operating at the central tier, the federal, will now, through a broadcast, which eventually needed to have affirmed by the National Assembly in whatever configuration that was, that he could just by mere broadcast, which he pinned to a Supreme Court judgment, will now say that he's dissolved, dismantled the political structures, including the lawmakers, and in his place is appointing for 6 months a sole administrator. That doesn't in any way sound, it doesn't make any democratic sense. But he pinned that on the fact that he's a responsible federal government. Yes. And he cannot wait and see things go out of order in Rivers State. So we should applaud him for that. Now, there is the judiciary, headed by the Supreme Court, and is said to be the last hope of the common man. And so we are supposed to be governed by the rule of law. We are not in a Hobbesian state of nature where might is right. Okay, now, if that is the setting, now that the governors have come together and they have come to the Supreme Court, the onus is on the Supreme Court to purge itself of whatever misconception Nigerians have had. Because when Tinubu asks you to go to court, the question has always been, whose court?
Yes.
Because before you get there, the judgment, Wike's court. Tinubu asks you to go to Wike's court. What justice can you get in Wike's court? What is the difference?
Even brag and tell you,
go to court. Let's meet in court. Let's meet in court.
The judiciary has been eclipsed.
And the question is, whose court? And for how long will we be in this kind of
our lords and lordships don't seem to be honorable anymore. They've thrown their honor to the dogs, and they've allowed themselves to be manipulated by the executive, who are supposed to be at the lowest rung of the political trident. I think, for me, objectively, the judiciary and the legislature should be more powerful in terms of checks and balances than the executive. The executive,
the legislature is the first arm.
Yes,
the legislature is the first arm. That is why the governor needs to bring his budget proposal for it to become a budget, as it were, and signed into law. And yes, and that is why even in the military we had executive. Kefas was the executive here. The military administrators were executive. But the true arm of democracy is the House of Assembly. Yes. And for you to come and dismantle the House of Assembly, with what laws will the sole administrator be governing the state? And that is the bizarre dimension, the absurdity in the script that the federal government has tried to play out.
Well, thank you very much, people. It's been a very long day here. We get to call it a wrap. We're gonna look into this issue again. It's still there, and it's disturbing. I'm happy, like we all have identified. Thank you, governors, for coming up, because, like Bakarali said, the court have no up. They cannot just get up and say, "Hey, what you said is what the president is done is wrong or right." So somebody have to bring a case before them. I'm happy the governors have done so. Now the court, this is an opportunity for you to redeem yourself. I am not blackmailing you, but the question is, are you weakest? Is this weakest court, or this is the federal, or this is the Supreme Court of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? If it is, we expect judgment, a fair one, clean ruling. I understand. I understand that there's a provision in the law in our constitution that said the president could exercise this power, but in extreme occasion. The question is, what was extreme in Rivers State? What was it? A judgment has been passed. The cases have been dragging up and down. And why I'm even confused is, it was the court. This is why the research I want young people to do. Does our constitution say that we could declare state of emergency when there is this high level of insecurity in the country? Why have they not done so? That's a question for another day. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining me. I'm so proud of you. We're going to do this tomorrow. When I have you, I am balanced. You know, I don't have the privilege to even go the way I want, because I get more than what I think, and that is why I'm proud of two of you. Thank you very much for joining me, and I'm sure the audience are actually taking a lot. There's no time I come on this platform with you where I don't see, I personally gain from your experience. I want to say, engineer, that I was sorry that we're disappointing your generation so much, because if I remember when I attended my secondary school in my own village, I have my mathematics teacher, my additional mathematics teacher was Mr. Chanjahan. He was from India. My chemistry teacher was Joseph John from Pakistan. As at that time, we have the privilege of having foreign teachers in our school. In fact, our vice principal was from America. We had that opportunity. If you go to school, you're going to school, man. But today, and the funny thing is, these are the same people that benefited this, they are now in government. So it makes no sense. And funny enough, I must say this, most of the guys in government now, their parents didn't have money to send them to school. Had Awolowo not introduced free education with the UPU, we're talking of clear political ideology now.
Yes.
They wouldn't have attended the secondary school.
Free books, not just tuition.
Thank you. So today, we just ask ourselves, is this the Nigeria you people give to us for the opportunity Nigeria has given to you? Because you went to a free school, you had a very beautiful surrounding. Today, you are richer than the state. And I want to be clear. Some of them are richer than the state. I cannot name. Look at our state alone. Ibori is richer than the state. Odua is richer than the state. Okowa is richer than the state. Now this man is getting rich and rich and rich. You see, Oboro don't roll. You know, say for what they say, when they swear for you, your belly go the fat. Listen, we got to stop this, man. The politics cannot be a place where you just amass wealth. You have responsibility to the people. All we're saying is, please take that seriously. We are don't you want to go back and remember what you did? Is this what you're going to remember for walking around with helicopter, with your own private jet? They have private jet, they own banks, they own only hotels. schools. You can't see them owning a factory, not one. Not one. Other than oil companies, they don't own factories. We need to stop. It's a message. This is in fact, it is not the Nigerian democracy that is bad. It is not the constitution that is bad. You people twisted it. It is the same system that Awolowo operated. And you know why I'm angry with Babangida? Babangida's sin is unforgivable. Because Babangida came with the things we are talking about today. When we had the SDP and the NRC, these were clear. We were two political parties with clear ideologies.
Yes.
Even to Nigerians, secretariats were built. Babangida, your sin is unforgivable. Let's end it there. Because tomorrow we're going to take a look at that. All right, let us look at let's go back a little bit of memory lane and look at what Nigeria would have been had Abiola was allowed to come in, and that we had built on that democracy till now. Would have had, we actually had secretariat. I don't know whether those buildings are still there. Well built. No, Nigerians, we are very destructive people. We need to change. And these are the same boys. The boys in power now, all of them. And the funniest thing, sometimes I've been looking at Tinubu. Tinubu, you were in exile here with us. During the Abacha time, he was in exile. Using Nadeco. So this is your Nadeco. Sometimes we need to look at this country and ask ourselves, where are we coming from? Tinubu, where are you coming from? Ibori, where are you coming from? Forget Wike was not Wike, they carry umbrella follow Jonathan those days. Where are you coming from? We saw Wike, he was the one holding umbrella for Good Luck and his wife. This is the same Wike. We need to ask ourselves, maybe if we question these boys, they will sit up. And maybe it's time for us to stop clapping for them. Do you know one video I saw? I don't want to, time is too much now. There's a video I saw in one of these Delta State politicians who has never been in politics, but he has been very close to government. He was sharing money in his village. They say, Hillary. I was watching. He's sharing money. And I said to this guy, which money are you sharing? So you can be a god now for sharing money. Where did you get the money?
Ask him.
Let's close today, so we have time to do this tomorrow. Let's just rest today. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining me. Let's do this again tomorrow. And God bless you. And please stay out of trouble. We're going to do this. We're going to form a formidable team, my people. I'm proud of you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'll see you tomorrow. All right, gentlemen, that is where we end it today. We'll be here tomorrow with another exciting edition of this show. We are not here to fight you. We just present it and you decide. And you, even in power, maybe it's a time. There's something Mbaka said today. This is an opportunity for the court, the judiciary to redeem itself. Maybe this is an opportunity for you, the politician, to redeem yourself. You came into a system that gave you a lot. Is this what you give back to the system? When you came, you were very poor. Look at you today. Is this what you give back to the system? To amass wealth. And now you are bigger. Look at the way they walk. It is not good though. That's why we end the show. Thank you. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Nigeria Week London 2025. It's time to celebrate the pulse of Africa's most exciting nation. Nigeria Week London 2025 is coming to Hippodrome Theatre from July 24th to 26th, 2025, showcasing the best in Nigerian arts, music, fashion, and investment opportunities. Whether you're looking to discover the future of real estate, explore Nigeria's culinary masterpieces, or get immersed in an electric Afrobeat performance, this is the event of the year. You can also join us for a film festival, cultural dance spectacles, and the recognition awards. Don't miss out on the business opportunities and cultural experiences waiting for you. Book your tickets now before they're gone on eventbrite.co.uk. call or text +447 438 893 190 or 080 330 46768 or +447 459 071 747. Visit our website superiorradioandtelevision.com. Nigeria Week London 2025. Nigeria Week London 2025. Celebrate. SRTV. Innovative.